You're in Portland on Saturday, and are we any closer to a Jimmy Butler trade anywhere? Join us starting at 6 here on Arizona Sports.
71 hours, 70 and a half hours away from the trade deadline in the NBA. It's already been
Sooner the better.
Come on, man. I know you're working your ass off, but this is fun. This week is, because after this week, no more. Think about it. No more Jimmy Butler talk after this week, unless he comes to the Suns. Trade deadline's over.
Rest, sleep, my phone not going off constantly.
All right. Well, see if you can suck it up for 71 more hours and do your due diligence for the audience of the Burns and Gambo show, because I know they appreciate the hard work that you're putting in.
Liar!
What's a liar?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. You're just yelling things randomly. We are 3 days away now from the trade deadline. Thursday coming up at 1 o'clock. Obviously, Luka to the Lakers and AD to the Mavs and De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs has, as you would expect, it shifted a lot of attention back on the Phoenix Suns, almost as if to say, okay, the next big name to go could be Jimmy Butler, and what's going to happen with that. The latest on this comes from reporting that was done over the weekend that suggested that Jimmy Butler said no to the Golden State Warriors. That I'm not going to sign an extension. I'm not going to re-sign with you. Don't bother. I don't want to be there.
Right. I believe that to be true.
You believe you believe that to be the case.
Yes.
In fact, most of the underlying reporting has suggested the only team that he does in fact feel that way about is the Phoenix Suns.
Right.
So here we are, right back to square one, asking the same questions and wondering the same things. Is there a deal out there? Can the Suns find a place Bradley Beal wants to go to that will want Bradley Beal?
Yeah.
Can the Suns bring this home by Thursday at 1 o'clock?
Yeah, I don't know. It's very frustrating because nothing gets done unless Bradley Beal is willing to waive his no trade clause to a team that you can find to accept Bradley Beal. I still don't see Miami taking him. Because it just doesn't make sense. One of their reporters, Barry Jackson, has been on this quite a bit about just like how much it would set them back if they took.
He tweeted yesterday,
Jimmy Butler.
For those of you still saying just Butler for Beal and 3 first-round picks, remember, that leaves you no real ability to add anyone else significant in the next 2.5 seasons unless you're trading Tyler Hero or Bam Adebayo.
Right.
Because it just locks your hand.
Locks them in. It's what they don't want. It's exactly what they don't want. So not only do you could be offered Jimmy Butler next year. You can't be offered Bradley Beal next year. You're probably stuck for another year with Beal because he's going to opt into that contract. Here's what I can tell you. Okay. As of right now, today, the Suns are still focused on Bradley Beal for Jimmy Butler. They're still focused on trading for Jimmy Butler. That is the focus today on February 3rd. It's been their focus since the middle of December to try to get a trade done to get Jimmy Butler here. They have not been able to do it, but as the trade deadline gets closer, everybody's running out of options, and we'll see if somebody blinks and decides to take Bradley Beal, or if Bradley Beal decides that he wants to get out and go somewhere else. Now, the backup option is other smaller deals that they are working on. They're working on other smaller deals.
Talk about the Suns now.
So now if the Suns so they're focused on Bradley Beal for Butler. And if they can't do that, they're working on other smaller deals that could not only help them now, but also help them in the future. So a guy that could come in, help the team right now, but isn't a rental, is somebody that, could be part of their future going forward.
Okay, and all of that kind of falls in line with, I think, what our expectations were last week going into this week. And I think now that it's all coming to a head, now we're going to find out. Now we're going to find out how steely everybody's resolve is on this one. How steely is Miami's resolve to go, okay, we just will not under any circumstances take Bradley Beal back in a deal. We're just not going to do it. And if you believe they have resolve when it comes to that, then I don't think Jimmy Butler is coming to the Phoenix Suns. Now, again, I'll explain this for the umpteenth time to our audience. You're the source guy on the show. I'm not. I'm just kind of over here throwing darts. I don't think Jimmy Butler is coming to the Phoenix Suns because I don't think they're going to be able to find a place that wants Bradley Beal, that he's going to want to go to. And I very much believe Miami when they say, we're just not taking on that contract. We would rather deal with the mess of Jimmy Butler for the rest of the season and trying to clean that up and revisit this in the offseason than bring on a contract that essentially locks us up for 2.5 years.
Right.
And I believe them. I believe that Pat Riley, he ain't going to be like the Sacramento Kings. I don't think Pat Riley's going to be like the Dallas Mavericks. I think Pat Riley is just
going to be Pat Riley.
I think Pat Riley's going to Pat Riley. And he's just, nope. I'm not going to do it. I refuse to do it. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. Maybe we get to Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
And he buckles.
And Pat says, fine. Just give us Bradley Beal and the 3 firsts and get this headache off my hands.
Problem is the 3 firsts are not valued very highly in the league.
They're not great firsts.
They're first. They're good. They're valued. Like for the Suns, they could be valuable because if the Suns have those picks, for them, they need players. As they lose players, they're not as valuable to other teams trade-wise.
As some of the firsts that traded hands yesterday.
Yeah.
Some of those firsts are very, very, very valuable.
Chicago got their first back.
Chicago got their first back, a 2031 pick that's unprotected, made its way, right?
It's been on 3 teams now, that 2031 pick.
Yeah, already it's moved.
Right, Minnesota,
not the
San
Suns,
Antonio. It's like that's moved around quite a bit.
Gambo, I don't think he's coming. I think it's going to end up being, like you say, a smaller deal somewhere else.
Smaller deals. Could be multiple deals.
Lincoln.
Multiple deals. If they're not able to get Butler, work on some things. I don't think they're going to do nothing. I expect that the Phoenix Suns will make a trade or two. I expect that they'll make a trade. But again, still the focus is on getting Jimmy Butler. You want to talk about Kevin Durant now?
I do want to talk about Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant, there's a report by Jake Fisher about the Suns fielding calls for Durant. The Warriors have been aggressive in trying to see if the Suns would part ways with Kevin Durant.
Interesting.
This is what I can tell you. They have a lot of teams have called on Kevin Durant. No, but the Warriors are the team that is the most aggressive in trying to see if they could pry Kevin Durant from the Phoenix Suns. It doesn't hurt to call. Doesn't mean they're trading him. It doesn't mean the Suns have opened up talks to trade Kevin Durant. It just means when a team calls, you'd be stupid not to listen. You'd be dumb not to listen. Hey, I was talking about Kevin. No, he's untouchable. We're not sure. Yeah, but I want to give you 5 first-round picks and 3 players.
Dude.
You can't not take a phone call.
Luka Doncic just got traded.
Right.
Kevin Durant said as much after the game on Saturday. If we play in a league where Luka Doncic can get traded, any of us can be had. Any of us, we're all for sale if Luka can be traded. I hope they're listening.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to hear anything good. But I hope the Phoenix Suns are listening when it comes to Kevin. Doesn't surprise me the teams are calling. Yeah. Doesn't surprise me the Warriors are being aggressive. Not one bit. That doesn't surprise me at all.
No, if they can't get Butler and they can put Curry and Durant together, try to give it one more run right here. I don't think the Warriors have very much to offer, by the way, player-wise. And it's not a very good – we saw that roster against the Suns on Friday. It's not a very good roster. It's not a very good team. They were missing some players, in that game, right? No Kuminga and no Draymond Green.
Correct, right.
But, yes, the Warriors have called the Suns. That's true. A lot of people asking me, is this true? Is this true? Yes, the Warriors have called the Suns about Kevin Durant. That doesn't mean the Suns want to trade Kevin Durant.
I was going to say,
it just means the Warriors have called.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it doesn't. Just because that has happened, and just because the Mavs just traded Luka, and because the Kings just traded De'Aaron Fox, it doesn't. Are you getting the sense that this will not be a week where Kevin Durant gets moved? That won't be. I mean, we've seen some shockers in the last 48 hours of the NBA. Do you feel pretty good about thinking that Kevin Durant is going to stay put with the Phoenix Suns this week?
I feel good about Durant staying put. I do. I do. I think a lot hinges on Jimmy Butler, though. I think a lot of, not only for now in the future of the Phoenix Suns, is going to depend on whether they can get Jimmy Butler here or not. Because if they can't, this team, the way it's constructed, is not a good basketball team.
It's not working.
And it's just not working.
It's not working.
And it should, because on paper, it's extremely talented. It's an extremely talented team. They have it really is a good team on paper. It just hasn't, it hasn't ended up in the win column as much as it should. So if they don't get Jimmy Butler, what the future holds for the Phoenix Suns, we'll have to have that discussion another day.
Yeah, we'll see about that. When we come back on the Burns and Gambo show, blockbuster weekend in the NBA. Who was the winner of those blockbuster trades, and how does it affect the rest of the West? We'll talk about that. Stay with us on the Burns and Gambo show.
Here we go. America's pastime is almost back.
2-2. Swung on. There's a laser shot right center. Oh, Carroll tracks it down. Makes the catch on a slide.
Pitchers and catchers report next Wednesday. D-back season will be on Arizona Sports 98.7, the Arizona Sports app, and ArizonaSports.com. Spring training coverage presented by Estrella Jalisco.
Love telling you about Christian Brothers, AC, Plumbing, and Electric. Shay and the group over at Christian Brothers are second to none. Matter of fact, they were out at my neighbor's house not too long ago. Her electrical panel was toast. It was fried. It sits in the sun all day long, and it was baked. And you opened up, you looked at the wires like, oh, my God. You got to be careful now. You got to have a fire here. Christian Brothers is offering $20 off a new premium electrical panel installation, along with a free whole home surge protector. That's right, $20 off a new premium electrical panel installation and a free whole home surge protector. Never too early to get ready for the Arizona summer heat with an energy saving evaluation. Christian Brothers can come out and give you an idea of what you could do to save energy. Installing attic air circulation fans can offset summer heat. They do that at Christian Brothers. LED lighting retrofits to save money on utility bills, and surge protection kits for the entire house at the electrical panel and at the AC units. You could do it all with Christian Brothers. Call them at 602-222-3535 or go to cbrothers.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
There are countless personal injury attorneys in Arizona. How in the world do you know whom to choose? Hey, everybody, it's Dan Bickley, and here is why you choose the attorneys at Sweet James when you are hurt in an accident. Number one, Sweet James used to work defending insurance companies, and so did many of his attorneys, and they were disgusted by how insurance companies take advantage of everyday people at their weakest moments, and now they use their passion, experience, and knowledge to give injured victims a voice. Secondly, they are one of the only firms that have attorneys with experience in over 500 trials, and they constantly deliver some of the top settlements in the state. Now, it's the compassion for injured victims that drive them to win and win big. So if you are hurt in an accident, call Sweet James at 800-9-million, 800-900-0000. Find them online at sweetjames.com. Proud partner of your Phoenix Suns.
After my teenage son and his pack of hungry friends raid the pantry, there's barely a crumb left. Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. As impressive as teenage appetites are, they're nothing compared to termites. These silent 24/7 binge eaters can cause damage to your home going undetected for years. Protect your investment. Call 602-BLUE-SKY and schedule your free termite inspection today. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pests.
The Burns and Gambo Need to Know Social Poll. Presented by Sanderson Ford.
All right, Lauren is here. Third member of the Burns and Gambo Show, our producer on the other side of class. This is about Illini basketball. Is the poll question today about Illini basketball?
No, I could have made it about Illini basketball, but I chose to take the high road.
Two of us were watching the game against Ohio State the other day.
Guess what, two?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that like your effort to shame me for not watching Illinois basketball? Because I had much better things to do than watch Illinois basketball.
Couldn't be me.
I am not ashamed to say I had many other things I was more interested in doing than watching Illinois
basketball. They even
basketball.
showed like a photo of the Final Four team that lost to North Carolina during the broadcast. That was Darren Williams, right?
The national championship team.
They lost the national championship. Yeah. They had the Final Four banner.
Truly, and this is a true story, I think it's great that you two are bonding over Illini basketball. I think that's awesome. I might not partake,
I like college basketball.
But
I watched the whole U of A ASU game.
Oh, I watched that too. We're going to talk about that.
We got a lot to say on that.
We got a lot to say on that one.
Yeah.
Everyone just needs to chill out.
Chill out and send some Kleenex to Bobby.
Lauren, what's our poll question today?
All right, our poll question today, guys, is about the NBA, and specifically who most improved from this weekend's NBA trades. As a little recap, the Lakers got Luka, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. The Mavericks got Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. The Spurs got De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin, and the Kings got Zach LaVine and 3 first-round picks.
So I'm a best player wins the trade person.
Okay.
I just am. I am. The Lakers got the best player in the deal. They made out the best. They got the single best player in all of these trades.
Give me the phrasing of the question again. Just
who improved the most from this weekend's NBA trades?
The Lakers did, because they got the best player. But I think it's going to take them a while to figure that out. I think San Antonio got better right away. I mean, like right away. Like I think they're the 12th seed? That's not even a seed in the Western Conference. They're 12th in the NBA's Western Conference. Watch out for the Spurs. I think they're coming. And I think they are so loaded with assets. The Lakers, it's the correct answer. It's the Lakers. But man, I like what San Antonio did this weekend without what they didn't give up to get De'Aaron Fox. It's impressive. So I'll go with the Lakers.
It's funny because the first comment under this poll question is from AZ Race Fan 1, and he said short term, it's the Lakers. Long term, it's the Spurs.
That's my burner account.
We figured it out.
The Burnsy burner account.
Don't tell anybody.
We found Gambo's burner account last year.
Yes.
And now we found yours
mine.
this year.
I have never had a
me.
burner account.
That's me.
I have never had a burner account.
He doesn't need one.
No,
Gambo
he
says
doesn't.
what he says on his actual account. He doesn't need a burner.
Gambo doesn't need a burner account to hide what he
No,
says.
I go after the trolls all the time. I don't need a burner account to go after trolls. I do it right on my own account.
43% of our audience are going with the Lakers. 40% are going with the Spurs. 14% going with the Mavericks, and 4% going with the Kings.
Our guy, Kevin Pelton, thank you, Lauren. We appreciate it. Our guy, Kevin Pelton, gave the Lakers an A for their work, gave the Dallas Mavericks an F for their work. He gave the Spurs an A- for their work. He gave the Kings a B-. The Bulls and the Bulls and the Utah Jazz are kind of minor bit players in all this. So I don't think we need to spend a lot of time talking about
Can we start with the
them.
Mavs?
Absolutely. Start wherever you want.
Anthony
Gambo.
Davis is one of the truly great players that's ever played this game. To think that the Mavs got an F for that is incredible, right? Is that because Luka's so good or you just didn't get enough? Anthony Davis is a terrific, sensational basketball player. He's an NBA champion. He's a dominant player on both sides of the court. I think the question really is fit because, P.J. Washington, he's going to go to the 3 now instead of the 4. I think that's going to hurt him. You've got Gafford. And when Lively comes back, and there's some thought to whether Lively is even going to come back this year because of that foot injury, but you've got Lively's your center, AD is your power forward, P.J. Washington then becomes your small forward, and then you've got Gafford. Look, AD is not. The spacing would be an issue, right? Because AD does not shoot the 3 very well.
No, he hasn't since the last 3 or 4 years. No.
Yeah, so I wonder about the fit with they're big and they'll have a lot of big bodies and they can defend.
But does he shoot the 3 well enough?
But can
to
they
be
space the
4?
floor?
Right. Yeah. The biggest reason why Pelton, and we're friends with Kevin Pelton, we have him on the show all the time. He said the biggest issue here is simply the aging curve. I mean, not that AD is old, but he's so much you took a young, not even in his prime superstar, and traded him for a 6-7 year older player who's still very, very good.
When healthy, but who's clearly
going to start to slide here at some point. And then he factors in all the draft picks that they've given up over the years to get the P.J. Washingtons of the world and the Daniel Gaffords of the world. Suddenly those picks might be a lot more valuable a couple years from now if the Mavs aren't as good.
Good point.
Now suddenly those picks that they don't control anymore, they haven't done it. Are they going to be good enough long enough so that trading those picks a year ago don't come back to bite them? Whereas the Lakers, you say, gets an A because it's Luka, for goodness sakes.
The Mavs 2027 first goes to Charlotte. It's only top 2 protected. If that's the 3rd pick in the draft, they lose it in 2027. Their 2030, they have a pick swap with the Spurs. Davis is going to be 37 years old then. What's interesting is, remember what they gave up to get Anthony Davis. They gave up 3 first-round picks and a pick swap, and Lonzo Ball, and Josh Hart, and Brandon Ingram. The Lakers to get AD, and then the Dallas, like it's just crazy. It's a crazy trade.
You take issue with the F? Is that the gist
It shouldn't
of this
be
year?
an F. It shouldn't be an F. Anthony Davis is a terrific player. I think that they didn't get enough. Like I think that they should.
And he
you're going to get
that
the
too.
older player by 6 years. I would have like if they would have got the 2 first-round picks. I don't think people would be as hard on them. It would be reasonable to tell the Lakers, trade somebody else, give me a first, and then give me the 3 firsts, and we got a deal. 3 firsts, and I'll take Anthony Davis, you take Luka Doncic. Like, that would have been, I think, a little more even. Still wouldn't have won the trade because the best player always wins the trade. So we'll say the Lakers have been playing well. They just beat the Knicks. They were 8-2 in their past 10 games. They're 1 game out of 4th, and then they make this gigantic trade, which sets them up. A lot of people are debating this. Does it set them up more for the now or more for the post-LeBron era in the future?
I think the answer is both, as long as they can go get a center, because right now their center position is really, really thin.
Got this guy named Nurkic.
Anybody want him? Come get him, LA. We'll be more than happy to trade him to you. I think really, we're talking about 2 ultra ball dominant dudes in LeBron and Luka. I think it's going to take them a while to figure this out. So I think in the short term, honestly, it's got the potential to be kind of messy in LA. I really do. I think it's going to take. I think for me, they're more about the long term. And when they don't have LeBron, or when LeBron ages himself out of the league, because it will happen at some point, that they're now set up with their next superstar. I think in the short term, this doesn't do much to help the Lakers be better, because I think these next 15, 20 games are going to be a little awkward while they try to figure this out, especially if his conditioning's not where they want it to be.
You're not going to be as good defensively. You just lost Anthony Davis.
Oh, God, they're going to not be as good
defensively. You're not going to be good. They got to get a center. They don't have any. They don't have any center right now. Was it Jackson Hood that was played center?
It was.
They don't have anybody. They got to go get a center.
A little bit. Yeah, they have to. Whereas the other trade, the Kings and the Spurs.
Okay.
The Spurs, they get an A-. I give them an A+. I can't believe the assets they didn't give up to get De'Aaron.
None of their top 8 scorers.
And not that De'Aaron Fox is the end-all, be-all. He's not. But they didn't give up any of their significant assets, I felt like, to get him.
I spoke with Sacramento a couple days ago, and it's like, they wanted Stephon Castle. And they weren't able to get Castle. That was the guy. Like they were. So not only did they get Castle,
didn't get Vassell.
Nope.
Didn't get. They got one of the draft picks moved. But one of the most valuable draft picks they've got the Atlanta Hawks first-round pick
the next
this
3 years.
year. This year, now Jalen Johnson's out for the season. They have the high. Nope, they kept that.
They control Atlanta's draft the next 3 years. They control Atlanta's draft because they have Atlanta's first in 25, Atlanta's first in 27, and a pick swap in 26. They kept their 6 most prized first-rounders. You were right when you said it earlier. The team to watch out for is the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh boy.
They are the team to watch out for because they are loaded. Now, somebody said they have the room to go get a 3rd star. That would be the dumbest thing that they could do is get a 3rd star.
Really?
Build around Wembanyama and Fox with good quality role players.
And depth and athleticism and length.
And not another
youth.
star.
And don't go star chasing. The league is, if there's one thing these burned out Suns fans can tell you right now, is that this star chasing thing, man, it is way overrated. It's just okay. I've kind of seen it and had it and done it with the star chasing thing. I would agree with you wholeheartedly. When we come back on the Burns and Gambo show here on Arizona Sports, we're going to turn our attention back to the San Antonio Spurs and how the Suns can set themselves up for future success at this trade deadline. That's next on the Burns and Gambo show.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2.
That's all this seems to be about, for the most part, is Jimmy Butler getting his extension. Or is it, brothers? Maybe it's about getting his extension here. I think Jimmy Butler, I hear this, and I think Jimmy Butler is going to be a Sun at some point in time. I think it's almost guaranteed. I could be wrong on that, of course.
Does this make it more likely that Jimmy Butler becomes a Phoenix Sun?
Yes.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Back here to tell you about the attorneys at Berg Simpson Law Firm, some of the very, very best, nationally recognized. Berg Simpson, I'm telling you this because I I want you to know why Berg Simpson is different. There's so many choices out there when it comes to injury attorneys that you could hire. I mean, so many choices. It's like, where do you start? Where do you turn? How do you begin? Start with a law firm that has been listed as one of America's most influential law firms by the National Trial Lawyers, listed as one of the 21 best lawyers in America. Their individual attorneys are frequently cited as being some of the best in America. So they've got national recognition, they've got the resources, they've got the reputation, they've got a partnership with two other prestigious law firms that also lends a lot of seriousness to what they're doing. They are just different. And trust me, when you're in this situation, having been in this situation, you want the very best. If you're ever in need, let the best team represent you by calling Berg Simpson at 602-777-7000. That's 602-777-7000, or visit them at bergsimpson.com. Berg Simpson, good lawyers, changing lives.
Hi, Bill Ross here for Bill Ross Fitness Solutions. Here's a tip for those of you who train yourselves. If you're always doing the same routine, you need to change it up after a while, maybe after 15 workouts or so. Even though consistency is good in your routine, there's a point of diminishing returns. Your body and your mind needs new stimuli every so often. Our programs are personalized and always change. They're also efficient, just taking 30 minutes. Check us out at BillRossFitnessSolutions.com today.
Hi folks, Brandon Webb here. You may be hearing a lot about Y-Refi, or even know someone who's already invested. But what makes Y-Refi so different from other investments? Well, Y-Refi offers a secure, collateralized portfolio with a strong, fixed rate of return, up to 10.25%. That's right, you heard it, 10.25%. And with Y-Refi, the good news keeps coming. There is no attack on your principal if you ever need your money back, and you are in control. You can let your investment compound daily or take income, whatever you choose. There are absolutely no fees, and an investment in Y-Refi is an investment in America's future. Folks all over the country are earning a strong, fixed rate of return with Y-Refi, and they don't care what happens with the stock market or the Fed. Just call 877-80-INVEST. That's 877-80-INVEST, or log on to investyrefi.com. That's invest, the letter Y, then REFY.com. And make sure to tell them Brandon Webb sent you.
Introducing your ultimate golf destination, the Golf Galaxy Performance Center at Ahwatukee Foothills Town Center, opening January 31st. Join us at the grand opening event, February 14th to the 16th. Over $30,000 in giveaways and prizes, including our $10,000 closest to the pin contest. Discover the latest golf clubs, explore cutting-edge styles, and immerse yourself in a brand new golf experience. The first 100 adults in line each day will receive a mystery gift card with a chance to win up to $500. Learn more at golfgalaxy.com/Phoenix.
Don't wear it, sell it.
At Oliver Smith Jeweler, we love buying jewelry and luxury timepieces. We care about each piece's unique history, craftsmanship, and design.
Hi, I'm Oliver Smith, and over the past 40 years, Oliver Smith Jeweler has helped advise many clients on jewelry and watches. We can evaluate your pieces free of charge, provide you with an estimate of what they are worth in one-on-one meetings with you, respecting your time and valuables. Get a check or convert your unworn valuables directly to gold coin or bullion for the future investment.
Oliver Smith Jeweler is known for our beautifully crafted jewelry and having the best timepiece selection in the Valley. Our clients choose us time and time again for our trusting nature, exceptional value, and our commitment to providing unsurpassed customer care.
Don't wear it, sell it. Come visit us at Oliver Smith in Gainey Ranch or in the Scottsdale Fashion Square Mall.
Luke Lipinski back to tell you about Twin Peaks. This is a busy time of year in the sports world, and that is good news for you because the football playoffs are here. Basketball and hockey is going strong too, and we are closing in on spring training as well, believe it or not. So get to Twin Peaks for all of this. They got wall-to-wall TVs. You won't miss 1 second of the action. Plus, they have an outstanding food menu and the great environment that Twin Peaks is known for. Where would you rather watch these games? They've got 5 convenient locations spread across the valley now, so never settle. Stop by and experience the lodge mentality at Twin Peaks.
KMVP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Jesse Morrison with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. The Phoenix Suns are back in action tonight. They have another game at the Portland Trail Blazers. The Suns were blown out by the Blazers 127-108 on Saturday. Tip-off for tonight's game is at 8 with pregame coverage beginning at 7 right here on Arizona Sports 98.7 in the Arizona Sports app. Devin Booker is just 23 points away from breaking the Suns' all-time scoring record. The NBA trade deadline is Thursday at 1 p.m. Head on over to ArizonaSports.com to read Kellen Olson's story on how the massive Luka Doncic-Anthony Davis trade affects the Phoenix Suns. In NFL news, Cleveland Browns superstar pass rusher Myles Garrett has requested a trade. And Arizona men's basketball has moved into the top 25 in this week's AP rankings. The Wildcats moved from unranked all the way up to 20th. This report is brought to you by Day and Night Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Have the oldest AC in town? You could win a brand new high-efficiency AC with an air purifier from Day and Night. Text DAY to 602-649-1889 to enter. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, this is Jared, and on Tuesday we'll start talking about the Super Bowl and brace ourselves for the inevitable news that Patrick Mahomes has somehow been traded to the Lakers. Tune in at 6 a.m. on Arizona Sports.
It's funny. It's funny because, look, most of the reaction, if you're an NBA fan or if you're a Suns fan today, I think is centered around the Lakers getting Luka. Of course, it's the Lakers. We hate them. It's Luka. We hate him, right? Like it's and yet the Lakers, dating back since it seems like the dawn of time, always find a way to do this, whether it's getting Shaq, whether it's getting Pau Gasol, whether it's getting LeBron, whether it's getting AD. Hell, the only time they didn't was when the commissioner stepped in and said, you're not allowed to take Chris Paul in that trade. We're going to rescind that.
Right.
It's about every single time the Lakers have wanted to do something big and bold like this, they do it. And it served nothing but to discourage Suns fans for the better part of the last 40 years because it's the Lakers. I get all of that, all right? And them getting Luka sets them up to have this transcendent superstar in his prime for the next 10 years. There's another story about what happened this past weekend as we welcome you back to the Burns and Gambo show. And that is the San Antonio Spurs, who have a generational talent in Victor Wembanyama, who's just getting better and better and better with every passing game. Yeah, you look at the standings, and it's easy to not be that impressed by the San Antonio Spurs right now. Oh, my God, are they coming? Are they coming? And in a West that is loaded, Gambo, with teams that look like, oh, my God, you got to deal with them, and you got to deal with them, and now you got to deal with them. San Antonio has made their intentions very clear. We're not waiting around for the rebuild anymore. We're going now, full throttle. Let's go. And that's scary as you know what if you're a Suns fan right now, because it's just another West team you got to deal with.
Oklahoma City, Memphis, Houston, San Antonio are the future of the Western Conference. Now, there are teams that I think can stand pat and compete with them. One would be the Nuggets because of Murray and Jokic. Another might be Minnesota because of Anthony Edwards. And if they could figure things out, he's a generational talent. He's fantastic. I look at the Clippers. You're not going to win anything with Kawhi. Yeah, like if I'm the Clippers, can I trade Kawhi?
Yeah.
Does anybody want him? Because I'm not winning. I'm not winning the West.
Did you see what they did this weekend, by the way?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They smartly punted on some of their cap space eaters this weekend.
Yep.
They're like under the luxury
They got under by
tax line.
600,000 or something.
Good for them. They're in a position now where, okay, not our fight. We're going to take a step back and realize we need to live to fight another day when it comes to the salary cap stuff.
I look at the Mavs now with an older Anthony Davis leading the way and an older Kyrie Irving. You're not winning anything. And I look at the Suns with Kevin Durant and his age and, the age of Bradley Beal. And I just, this West, some of these teams need to really consider punting after this summer. When they get to the summer and we see who comes out in the West. Because Oklahoma City's not going anywhere.
Nope.
And Memphis is not going anywhere. Nope. And Houston's not going anywhere. And San Antonio's on the rise, and they're only going to get better. San Antonio's only going to get better. I don't blame Popovich for not retiring with that roster.
I don't know Memphis's draft capital off the top of my head.
I think it's pretty good.
I know that 3 of the 4 teams that you just mentioned
are loaded.
Houston's loaded with extra picks. San Antonio's loaded with extra picks. Oklahoma City's loaded beyond loaded with extra picks. That doesn't even count Utah, who's loaded with extra picks. They eventually, at some point, Danny Ainge up there is shrewd enough. He'll figure out a way to cash in all these chips that he's got when the time is right for him to do it. They might even be a team to fear 3 years from now, 4 years from now, when they kind of figure out their path and how to spend what they have. If Memphis has an extra
25 firsts, 26, 2 firsts in 26, one's a swap, but 2 firsts. They've got a first in 27, a first in 28, a first in 29, a first in 30, a first in 31. They're loaded. They got all their picks.
Look,
they got all their picks.
Trade deadline's coming up this Thursday, and I know all eyes are on Jimmy Butler, and all eyes here in town are whether the Phoenix Suns can get Jimmy Butler. I don't think it's going to happen. It's just a guess. I don't think it's going to happen. But I think what you just said a second ago, given what's going on in San Antonio and what's going on with Oklahoma City and what's going on with Houston, depending on what happens this year with the postseason, and if this goes the way it kind of feels like it's going to go, the Suns, I think at that point, are going to have to make the reasonable, rational, responsible decision and say, it just ain't happening for us. Not in this conference, not with this team we've built, not with what we've done.
But the problem is, it's like if you decide it's not, you're not going to, you got 5 years before you can be competitive again. Nobody's going to, like, the West is set for the next 5 years. These are your teams. Well, it goes in cycles.
Of course.
It goes in cycles. And the cycle now is going to be these teams that you just met. It's going to be Oklahoma City. It's going to be Houston. It's going to be Memphis. It's going to be San Antonio. And you got Denver and Minnesota on the outside looking in, and maybe they can get into that mix. Because of how young the other 5 teams are, I don't know that I would want to say, let's try to win it in 2026. I just don't know that you can.
I don't know you can either.
I think I'm looking for 5 years from now.
Well, what's the alternative? What's the alternative? What?
Be Golden State, getting the play-in tournament every year.
You know, I mean, is
with,
that
with Steph Curry and get beat in the first round?
And what's the alternative when you're so deep into the tax that first-round picks become frozen, right?
Yeah.
That you're in second apron luxury tax hell and you can't make moves and you can't. It's why, and we're gonna have Bobby Marks on the show a little bit later. I don't even know if we'll have time to ask him about this. But remember that trade primer he wrote last week, in which he suggested the Suns, don't punt on Durant at the deadline and certainly don't punt on Booker at the deadline, but that they punt on Nurk and Grayson Allen at the deadline, get no good players back, get draft picks back, so they can get onto this luxury tax, right? So they can save themselves some money and kind of live to fight another day when it comes to their roster, knowing that now that's giving up on this year, and maybe it's reasonable to say, you know what, let's give it one more postseason. Let's give it 2 more months, see where the Suns get in the postseason, and if you go nowhere, okay, that's fine. You want to do that? That's fine. But in this offseason, if it's another first-round exit, if it's another, even if you get past the first round, but you get embarrassed in the second round, what are we doing here? What are we building towards if you're the Phoenix Suns?
It used to be that the teams that you expected to be at the top, Phoenix, Denver, they had generational players, but they had no assets going forward. They had no assets. This is a rare, you've got these super young teams that are loaded with talent that also have assets. You're not supposed to have both.
Nope.
And these teams have both. They've got all the assets to make whatever trade they want to make to get better. And they also have the young players that, are going to, again, define this league over the next 5 years.
Yeah, now eventually they'll have to pay for it. Oklahoma City will have to pay for it. Eventually Houston will have to, but
then
they
already got off of Getty.
And when that happens, that becomes your window, and you probably need to prepare yourself for that moment when Oklahoma City starts to live in salary cap hell, right? When Victor Wembanyama gets his max contract and the Spurs are now living in second apron
You could do
purgatory.
it with 2 stars, though.
Well,
everybody says
you're right.
As long as you don't go third star, like I was talking with a GM last week, and he was like, look, the Suns playing 5 years ago would have been great.
Sure.
It would have been great. Like 5 years ago.
The league has evolved.
But they can't do that now. You can't do 3 stars anymore. You can get by with 2 stars in this league and still build a good roster around those guys. But you can't go 3. So the Spurs can't say, we got Wembanyama and we got De'Aaron Fox, let's add Kevin Durant. That's where you can't go. Because then everybody you're filling a roster with is going to be veteran minimum guys.
Depth, athleticism, length. Yep, it's the way. When we come back on the Burns and Gambo show here on Arizona Sports, we turn our attention back to the big news of the weekend. The Dallas Mavericks, did they just screw this whole thing up? That's coming up on the Lauren's nodding her head. Yes, they did. That's next on the Burns and Gambo Show.
Luka trade. As if Suns fans needed another reason to loathe the Lakers. Luka the Laker? Luka in L.A.?
This deal materialized in the shadows. This came out of nowhere. This is maybe the most stunning trade in recent NBA history as far as it was never clearly out there.
We're working through our perplexed, shook, and what the hey today on Arizona Sports 98.7, the Arizona Sports app, and ArizonaSports.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Healthy hearts love longer. They let you be there for all of life's most precious moments, big and small. That's why the expert cardiologists at Dignity Health never miss a beat. They work alongside a cardiology care team to guide you through whatever comes your way. It's our job to keep your heart in tip-top shape so you can be there for whatever greatness comes next. Find your doctor today at dignityhealth.org/azheart. Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness.
My friends that own small businesses are all drowning in tax paperwork this winter. So I tell them to let TaxFile take care of their taxes and just focus on their customers. That's TaxFile with a Y, F-Y-L-E. TaxFile connects small business owners with licensed accountants who sweat the details. TaxFile's customers swear they saved them days of busy work. They say TaxFile was more responsive too. Go to taxfyle.com/radio and get their best offer. Taxfile.com/radio.
Hello, everybody. Eric Bryan, owner of Precision Air and Plumbing. Why wait for a plumbing disaster? Call and take advantage of our $59.95 plumbing tune-up. Guys, annual plumbing tune-ups are essential. We'll do a water heater flush, sewer flow test, check all your fixtures. You name it, we check it. Let us get our hands dirty so you don't have to. Make the precision decision today and call us at 602-765-PIPE and get a real plumbing tune-up.
Decision with Precision Air.
Hey, sports fanatics and card collectors, this is Adam from DNA Cards and Collectibles. Mark your calendar for Saturday, February 22nd. We'll be hosting a Topps Hobby Rip Night you won't want to miss. While we can't spill all the details just yet, we can announce Arizona's favorite female hooper, Sophie Cunningham, will be hanging out, ripping packs, and having fun. Keep listening for more celebrity guests and keep in the loop by following us on Instagram at DNA Card Shop. Located on the northwest corner of 32nd Street and Shea with Zips and Ace Hardware. DNA Cards and Collectibles. Be legendary.
All right, here we go. Hi, it's Tim Hovick, and you're invited to my favorite event of the year, and it's free. The Santan Ford Special Olympics of Arizona Celebrity Putting Challenge. Located at the TPC Stadium Course Putting Green. The challenge features Special Olympics athletes, celebrities, big sports stars like Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Corbin Burns, Tori Lavello, and so many more. And top business leaders, all up close and personal. It's Tuesday, February 4th at 11 a.m. And all fans are admitted free to the entire stadium course. It's Ford Free Days. Our Special Olympic athletes capture the wonder and amazement embodied by the great game of golf. Please join me in supporting our Special Olympics athletes, then watch the Tour Pros practice on the big stadium course. It's a great day. See you Tuesday at the TPC. The Waste Management Phoenix Open. It's Tuesday, February 4th at 11 a.m.
Hey, it's Wolf. Is Saquon Barkley the key to Super Bowl 59? We'll run you through who we believe will be the difference makers in the big game tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's Wolf and Luke on Arizona Sports.
I'm sorry they're frustrated, but it's something that we believe in as an organization. It's going to make us better. We believe that it sets us up to win not only now but also in the future. And when we win, I believe the frustration will go away.
There were protests outside the Dallas Mavericks arena.
As there should have been.
Somebody brought a coffin. There were like 8 pallbearers.
Like the death of the Mavs?
Yes.
Oh, I thought they might have brought it for Nico.
No, like
Nico, get in!
Like the death of the Mavs. I guess several people brought coffins. Then somebody defaced something, and the police.
They made it to the NBA Finals last year.
I know, but
on the back of Luka Doncic.
But that's the problem.
Who there's a story going out now that they actually and I just checked on this. I'm like, is this true? Doncic was suspended. They said that he had a wrist injury for 11 days because he had ballooned to 260 something pounds, and they needed him to lose weight. And I'm like, yeah, that was the story. And I just checked on him, like, hey, is this true? And I'm like, yeah. So that's the story. The Mavs gave Luka an 11-day excused absence in late November, just a couple months ago, to shed weight after he ballooned into the high 260s. He's missed 27 games, including the past 6 weeks with a left calf injury. But they gave him 11-day. They said it was a right wrist sprain, but it was, he got too fat.
Yeah, this is a mess. This is a mess for Dallas. That was Nico Harrison. I played the soundbite there just a second ago.
You could always lose weight.
Yes, you can. He was asked about why trade Luka now.
There's some unique things about his contract that we had to pay attention to. There's other teams that were loading up. That he was going to be able to make his own decision at some point of whether he wants to be here or not, whether we want to supermax him or not, or whether he wants to opt out. So I think we had to take all that into consideration and feel like we got out in front of what could have been a tumultuous summer.
A tumultuous summer. That was the phrase that kept getting used over and over again in the last 40. It was going to be a tumultuous summer. It was going to be
what was the number? $340 million?
$340 million.
Supermax contract.
Sign him to a supermax contract. And he never, he was even asked, Nico Harrison was, did you get any indication at all that he didn't want to be here, that he was going to not re-sign with you, that he wasn't going to take your supermax money?
Do you have any indication from him or his representation that he was going to opt out or not take the extension or anything like that?
No, not at all. Not at all. Nothing verbally that would lead me to believe that.
And this is why they're getting ripped. I mean, there's a bunch of reasons why they're getting ripped. They're getting ripped for not getting enough in return. They're getting ripped for keeping this whole thing secret. I mean, Jason Kidd, he didn't find out until like the last minute that this. He says he supports it, but he didn't find out until the last minute. Mostly they're getting ripped because of the very basic core principle of what we're talking about. You had a 25-year-old, 5-time All-NBA player. You had full control over him. He was yours. And you just let him go. And it's just like no matter what you got in exchange, no matter what your rationalization is for doing it, it just doesn't make sense when you've got that and you just let him go to the LA Lakers and trade. Yeah. They're getting gutted for this.
Well, one, because it's the Lakers. I don't think that has that much to do with it, but still, it's like, why would you give this talent to the Lakers? Why do the Lakers? There's so many conspiracy theories out there, crazy conspiracy theories, on why, but he ends up with the Lakers because of TV ratings and all of that stuff and the owner and going to Vegas. But still, like, how did you not get more? It's not like, okay, you traded Luke. Are you afraid he was going to eat himself out? There's been players that have eaten themselves out of the league. Didn't Sean Kemp balloon to 300 pounds? Was that the guy?
Sean Kemp who got big? I can't remember.
There were some players that ate themselves out of the league.
We always dealt with Oliver Miller here in Phoenix.
Right.
Always. We had him for a few years. I mean, certainly, yeah, there were some players who couldn't control their weight.
Oliver Miller was one of them.
Yeah, Oliver Miller was a big one. And that's, but is that, I don't know. It's just almost like, how can I describe this? It's almost like they were creating. I'm not saying that problem didn't exist, but is this the proper reaction to it? I come home and kid has broke something and I go berserk and lose my mind and start, is that the is this the proper reaction to Luka being 15 pounds overweight? He's your star franchise player.
That's exactly right.
He took you to the NBA. You got to measure your response to this and understand you just don't fly off the handle like this and trade him to the Lakers because he was 260 pounds.
Mr. Brady did not lose his mind when Peter broke the vase with the basketball.
There you go.
Did not lose his mind because Peter broke the famous vase.
Mr. Brady could have lost his mind. He could have driven down to the neighborhood bar and went on a bender and got drunk on them. But no, he didn't. He stayed calm.
And Mrs. Brady could have kicked him out of the house.
He relaxed and they
dealt with that as a family. Alice cooked a nice dinner and they were fine.
I don't know. It's hard to know what to say about it because it's really I can't find one single way to put myself in the Dallas Mavericks shoes and say, this is why you should have done it. Oh, yes, this makes sense. Oh, I totally see that. Yeah, I get where nothing about this from my perspective makes sense to me. Unless you can make it make sense,
No,
I'll let you know if you're on the right path. But so far, no good.
I talked with people in the Mavs organization. Body was breaking down. He was never in shape. Really difficult to work with. Tired of him missing all these games. Hasn't played. They wanted him to play against Houston on Saturday. And they're on the road trip right now. And they were going to have a pickup game. So this is, what's today? Today's Monday.
Today's Monday.
The trade was Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday night.
So Friday, I think it was Friday or Saturday, they had a pickup game. They didn't have a game, but they were going to play pickup, and they wanted Luka there. They wanted Luka there to play pickup. He didn't show up. He didn't go. He didn't go on the road trip. You know, if you care that much, you're going to go on the road trip. You're going to be with your team. You're going to practice with your team. You're going to play pickup because you're a week away from coming back, and he didn't play. He didn't get involved in the pickup game. So I think that ultimately, and in the money, I think that they really balked at giving him the most money that ever would have been given to an NBA player in one contract.
Clearly they did. I mean, clearly they did. I mean, they weren't even given an indication that he wasn't going to want to be there, and they balked at giving him the money. And while all of that is fine and well, it's Luka Doncic, right? It's this transcendent, like. I get it's easy for me to say 1,500 miles away. Hey, deal with it, figure it out, work out a way to make it work. But it's Luka Doncic, and you certainly can't get this little in exchange for him. I mean, nothing against AD, very good player. And I
very good player.
Totally buy what you're saying about why they didn't make this like a public bidding and let it get out there. Because I get it. Luka would have been able to control exactly where he was going to want to go, and he would have controlled it. You have to get more than this if you're Dallas. And
have to. Yeah, they totally and again, the reason why they didn't open it up is because, you know, once you open it up, Luka gets word of it. All of a sudden, you hear this team's going to make a deal. I'm not going there. I'm not going to re-sign with them. I'm not going to re-sign with them. I'm not going to re-sign with them. All of a sudden, the player and his agent dictate. I think the agent is it Bill Duffy. The player and the agent dictate where you're going to go. They now completely dictate where they're going to go. They could say no. I'm not going to re-sign with that team. Exactly what Jimmy Butler's doing right now.
Yeah,
you get to control. That's why they didn't make it public. But still, I totally agree. They should have got a hell of a lot more.
It was uncomfortable watching J Kidd during that press conference yesterday. Like,
oh, I know.
Was there buy-in from him on this? Mark Cuban, who's not the principal, who's not the principal decision maker there anymore. He's still an owner, but he's not the majority owner, and he's not the governor of the team. All he said was "Go Mavs" or "Mavs fan for life" or things like that. It was shocking, and I think we all kind of felt the same way in one way or another. I didn't stay up to see the end of the Suns game on Saturday night. I know you did.
I did, yeah.
Watching their reaction on the bench, watching Kevin Durant's reaction, watching Royce O'Neal's reaction when he's like, and then Booker's like, somebody in the stands yelled it to us. I thought they meant Luka Garza.
Right.
I know they meant Luka Doncic. I thought Luka Garza's been traded. Oh, Luka Doncic has been traded. There's even a point where Booker tells Bud, Luka's been traded, and Bud, even in the middle of the game, stops and looks at him like he's grown a third eye out of his forehead. Like, what?
How do you approve that if you're the owner? Let's say, like, Nico Harris is Harrison. He's getting clobbered on this, right? He's getting clobbered on this trade. How do you okay that if you trust me? The owner knows about it.
Of course, the owner.
The owner has to okay it. How does the owner okay that trade?
Did you see what Nico said? He said the owner laughed at him at first.
Right.
At first, when I brought this to him, he kind of laughed at me.
Right. You want to get rid of Luka Doncic?
Yeah. I don't know.
He got. How did you sell him on that? And how, if you're the owner, how do you not say, yeah, okay, stop. Just stop.
Everything, in some part, it's everything you just said. He's overweight. He won't get into shape. His conditioning is crap. His body's going to break down because of it. He won't listen to what we're saying when it comes to diet. He won't listen to what we're saying when it comes to exercise. We're going to have to pay him $340 million this summer, and we don't think he's worth $340 million. This is going to be sunk cost for us. This is going to be lost money for us if we don't do something about it right now, where we can get this player who, admittedly, Nico Harrison had a long-standing relationship with AD from their time with Nike and all of that stuff. We can go get Anthony Davis, and I'll turn us into the Cleveland Cavaliers. You watch. We will become
they'll be big.
This dominant, big, skilled team that no one's going to want to play, and I promise you we'll make it worth your while.
Right, but we can't shoot threes.
How that's enough for the owner, I don't know, man.
You got to veto that if you're the owner. You got to. You got to say, hey, listen, let's take a step back here. You know what you're asking me to do? You're asking me to approve a trade of the most popular player, maybe more popular than Dirk Nowitzki, maybe the most popular player we've ever had, who led us to the NBA Finals last year. Like, let's take a step. Like, you've got to step in as the owner and say no.
I'm all for owners who stand out of the way and let the basketball people do the basketball decisions. But you're right. At some point, you have to step in and say, "Yep, nope, not on my watch. Not on my watch. We can't do this. We're. It's kind of like what didn't happen with your New York Giants. The owner didn't. Saquon Barkley's not Luka Doncic, but the owner's like, he's our most popular. We can't trade this guy. We can't let him walk. You know, and his words were very prophetic when it was all said and done. Coming back on the Burns and Gambo show here on this busy Monday. Stop me if you've heard this one before, okay? The Phoenix Suns lost to a youthful, athletic team.
Stop.
Okay, thank you.
I've heard that before.
And they're now 1-1 in the mush games. So what's next for the Phoenix Suns?
Don't bring back the mush.
Besides another mush game tonight. That's next on Burns and Gambo.
Here we go. America's pastime is almost back.
Del Castillo swings. High drive. Right field. Walk-off homer. Adrian Del Castillo.
Pitchers and catchers report next Wednesday. D-back season will be on Arizona Sports 98.7, the Arizona Sports app, and ArizonaSports.com. Spring training coverage presented by Estrella Jalisco.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business. Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it and will beat any print quote. Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs. No problem. I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens. Totally. I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing. I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/radio and use code radio for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/radio and use code radio at checkout.
Hi, Dieter Dan here with Wayne from AMCO.
Hey, Dan. So we're into the new year. W-2s are coming out, and it's tax time. Soon we'll be getting our tax return checks.
Oh, I know what I'm going to spend mine on this year.
Yeah.
New traffic jammies.
Perfect. Hey, don't forget about your car. You know, getting your taxes done can be complicated, but where to take your car when it needs repairs isn't. That's us at AMCO.
Wayne, I know, but it can take up to like 8 weeks or more to get your tax check. If you need car repairs, should you just wait until you get the check?
No, Dan, don't wait. Now's the best time of year to get all the things done that you've been meaning or wanting to get repaired on your car.
Ah, so tax time is the best time.
It sure is. And remember, AMCO has the Fix It Fast, Pay It Slow plan all year long. But at tax time, it really works good. You can get your car, truck, RV, hot rod, whatever you drive, all fixed up and drive away. And then pay for it when your tax check comes in.
Wayne, that's awesome.
I'll say we're AMCO.
Google AMCO for your nearest location. That's AMCO, AA. MCO, transmissions, and a whole lot more.
I fall in love with you more every single morning.
Babe, you're my favorite. My heart belongs to you.
At Shane Company, our fine jewelry says it all without saying a word. This Valentine's Day, give a gift they'll love. We have pieces you can personalize or classic gifts that are ready to go. Shop our collection of meaningful gifts, like necklaces engraved with flowers and a message of love. Or give timeless diamond studs or a stylish 14-karat gold chain. We have so many romantic gifts, no matter your budget. Just call us Cupid. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Dan Bickley with My Guy Bear, one of the Henley brothers that owns Waltz TV and Appliance. And Bear, you guys put the big in big screen televisions.
That's right. We have the largest TVs in the valley, like our jaw-dropping 115-inch model. It's an experience you have to see to believe.
Wow. And if I need my new TV delivered or installed?
Speedy delivery, full installation, you name it. We've got it covered.
Don't forget, drop my name. You're going to get a 3-year warranty for free or 10% off installation labor.
Shop local. Shop Waltz.
I'm Jesse Morrison with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. The Phoenix Suns are back in action tonight. They have another game at the Portland Trail Blazers. The Suns were blown out by the Blazers 127-108 on Saturday. Tip-off for tonight's game is at 8 with pregame coverage beginning at 7 right here on Arizona Sports 98.7 in the Arizona Sports app. Devin Booker is just 23 points away from breaking the Suns' all-time scoring record. The NBA trade deadline is Thursday at 1 p.m. Head on over to Arizonasports.com to read Kellen Olson's story on how the massive Luka Doncic-Anthony Davis trade affects the Phoenix Suns. In NFL news, Cleveland Browns superstar pass rusher Myles Garrett has requested a trade, and Arizona men's basketball has moved into the top 25 in this week's AP rankings. The Wildcats moved from unranked all the way up to 20th. This report is brought to you by Day and Night Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Have the oldest AC in town? You could win a brand new high-efficiency AC with an air purifier from Day and Night. Text DAY to 602-649-1889 to enter. Message and data rates may apply.
Suns at Portland. Pre-game tonight at 7. 8 o'clock tip. Right here on the home of the Suns. Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Basketball can be fleeting. This league is tough. Credit to Portland, the way they're playing. You have to look at what they did to make it happen, and we weren't our best tonight. So, you want to try and capture more last night, and that's what we'll try and do between now and Monday.
I'm not even looking at Gambo, and out of the corner of my eye, I can see him shaking his head. I can see him just shaking his head.
Credit to Desert Vista High School. They really came to play today.
7 seconds into that soundbite, I see him shaking his head.
Our ass, but credit to Portland. They came to play today. They've been playing a lot better. I think you're not going to fire the coach. Mike Budenholzer has to break out a can of whoop ass on this team sometimes. And he's play you want to play it again? No, I don't want to play it again. I heard it. I don't want to hear it again. It makes me sick. We're crediting Portland's playing well, and just listen to the tone in his voice. Go ahead, just play it one more time.
Right,
listen to the
tone.
Is this what you want?
Basketball can be fleeting. This league is tough. Credit to Portland, the way they're playing. You have to look at what they did to make it happen, and we weren't our best tonight. So. You want to try and capture more last night, and that's what we'll try and do between now and Monday.
Why can't you just say it's unacceptable? That's a terrible performance. I apologize. We should never play like that. This game was over in the second quarter. And then we got sloppy in the third quarter, kept turning the ball over, never made a run in the fourth, and it's just unacceptable. We're not going to get to where we want to get to if we keep playing like this.
Yeah.
Why not? Why can't we just say that?
It's funny because if you missed our show on Friday, or if you didn't hear the part of the show where we were talking about this, we actually went through a story and a couple of sound bites from a podcast from, what was it, DeMarcus Cousins, and I can't remember who the other one was. But
Lou Williams?
Was it Lou Williams? Yeah, that's right. Good call. It was Lou Williams. And they were both saying, hey, Bud's an acquired taste. He's not easy to play for. He's really blunt. He's really honest. You know where you stand with Bud. You're not in the dark with Bud. So maybe there's a different version of him behind closed doors in the locker room that we're not seeing, because former players certainly make it sound like he can be blunt and honest and direct. But certainly when you lose like that to the Portland Trailblazers, when you get humiliated like that, it's a very, it wasn't really our night. We'll go get them again next time, see what we can do. It's fleeting in this league. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because it's Gambo, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know. It's more of the same. It's this thing on a loop. It's this, one step up, 2 steps back, 1 step up, 2 steps back. It's been going on for years now, it feels like. And more importantly, and that's why I can't wait to see what happens tonight, because it's the same 2 teams. Saturday night was a young, athletic, long team that had their way with the Suns. And boy, if that is not on the tombstone of the 2024-25 Phoenix Suns season so far. If you're young, if you're athletic, if you're long, you will own. They can't contend with that.
They play well against those teams.
They just don't. No. It makes the Suns look so old when they play teams like that.
It turns into a track meet. These teams know. I mean, they had 7 players scoring double figures. 7. The Suns had 3. Anthony Simons, 25 years old. Sheldon Sharp, 21 years old. Tamani Kamara, 21 years old. DA, 26. Denny Advia, how do you say his last name? Advia, 24. Scoot Henderson, 20. Chris Murray, 24. I could ask a question that you would think is like maybe the stupidest question in the whole world, but it's honest. Which roster would you rather have right now going forward?
Oh, I'd still rather have the Suns roster.
Rather have the Suns? Okay.
Yeah, I'd still rather have the Suns. Would you?
I think it's. I don't think it's as easy as probably, but it's not as easy as you think.
I mean, it's.
They have a young, talented roster, of players. That's what you want. You want to have that. And they're playing better. And they may, who knows, maybe they're a team that down the road will be a lot better. You would think Devin Booker and Kevin Durant scored a lot of points in that game. So, Booker had 37, Durant had 22, but that was it. That's all they had. They didn't have anything else. Nope. They had 7 guys that were kicking the Suns' ass. Yeah. 7 guys.
And it's funny that's almost like the lesson of Friday night's game, which was a really nice win against the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
The lesson of that game was they were built to be elite offensively. They had 41 assists in that game. I mean, they were just it was the offense in some ways, in ways that we've not seen it with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. It was unbelievable how it was humming and flowing and working. And that is your best case perfect scenario of a team. This is how we're going to win. We're going to win because offensively, you cannot stop everything we've got going on out here. The problem with that is that when they run into a team like Portland that outworks them on the margins, outworks them on the offensive glass, takes the turnovers and turns them into points, gets out and run for all those points in the paint, you can't just rely on, hey, we've got more skill players than you do. Hey, we've got better finesse players than you got. We've got more brilliant shot makers than you do. Great. Every part of the game, every other part of the game, we are so much more committed to it than you are, and we're just going to run around you. We're just going to run circles around you. So same 2 teams tonight, same test tonight for the Phoenix Suns, albeit not on the second night of a back-to-back.
Hard to beat a team 2 times in a row.
It is.
Suns should be in a good spot here with a day off to come back and win this basketball game.
And
if they don't, oof.
Okay, well, it's another mush game. It's you counted, we
10.
did this last week, 10 games, given that the Suns have the toughest schedule in the NBA from here on out. They do, look it up. Toughest schedule in the NBA from here looking up. You had 10 games in which you had to win. You're playing the worst of the league.
Toronto, Chicago, Utah, Portland.
You're 1-1 so far in those games.
Yeah.
You beat Washington, you lost to Portland. In these 10 games where, man, if you don't win one of those, now you're going to have to beat someone that you're probably not supposed to beat later down the road, right?
You're going to have to beat a Houston or an OKC or one of these teams.
Doesn't mean they can't. It just means they're going to have to.
When I said that these are must-win games, I'm talking must-win to try to get out of the play-in. Like, if you really don't want to be one of the 7, 8, 9, or 10 seed, you can't lose to these teams. You can't lose to these teams and be a team that avoids the play-in. So that's the thing to me is like, you've got to win these games so you could get out of the spot that you're in right now. And you don't want to be a play-in tournament team. One game, you could be out in one game if you're 9 or 10.
Could be, yeah, if you're not careful with what you're doing. When we come back on the Burns and Gambo show here on Arizona Sports, we turn our attention to the other basketball thing that happened this weekend, and it was pretty outrageous too. Bobby Hurley, pretty unhappy with both teams after a loss to U of A on Saturday. What did he say post-game? Well, you'll hear next on the Burns and Gambo show.
Get all you need to know about our NBA franchise with Kellen Olson and Kevin Zimmerman on the Empire of the Suns podcast. Empire of the Suns. On the Arizona Sports YouTube channel, or find it where you get those other podcasts that you listen to. The Empire of the Suns podcast is brought to you by Sonic. Live free. Eat Sonic.
Morris Hall Estate Planning presents Young minds, big questions.
You think you're a lot smarter than I am?
Do you know how to multiply?
Yes.
Then you're smarter than me.
No, you know what I know about?